Hi everybody, I'm Victor Brick and welcome to this month's Good Old Uncle Vic. The trivia question from last month: how many baseballs does a Major League team use in a Major League Baseball game? The answer, 70 to 90. 70 to 90 baseballs are used in every Major League game. The trivia question for this month is: how many animals of each type of species did Noah take on the ark? This isn't a trick question. How many animals of each species did Noah take on the ark? You can email your answers in to jamie@brickbodies.com. Well, it's the end of the summer. Can you believe it? August already. Lynn and I have really gotten into biking. We went to Aix-en-Provence, France in June, and we went biking with a friend of ours. And when we came back, we've been into it ever since. We got ourselves some bikes, got ourselves the gear. We went biking in Loch Raven right behind us. We went biking in Gettysburg, we went biking in DC. And we've even got the scars to prove it. In France, Aix-en-Provence is right outside of Marseille, and we went biking on a mountain called Mount Victor. And Lynn fell not one, not two, but 3 times. When we were here at Loch Raven, we were biking. She had the choice to go between a tree and a rock. She could go right, she could go left, she could go left. She decided to go straight, went right into the tree. And then when we were down in DC, don't ask me how, we're biking along the C&O towpath, and she crashed there as well and scratched up her elbow. How she fell there, I don't know, because it's a straight level path. Actually, I do know, because it was my turn in Phoenix. Let me set the stage for you. Lynn was speaking at the National Speakers Association convention at the Marriott Hotel and Resorts in Phoenix, and I was just along for the ride. And I'd hang out by the pool, I'd work out, and on the last day of the convention, I decided to go for a bike ride. Now, the bike attendant gave me a map by which I could follow some roads, but about 5 miles out, I decided to make the ride more interesting and set out on my own on these paths. At first, I was following these guide wires on these paths, so I knew where I was because I was following the guide wires, but after a while, the next thing you know, I'm out in the middle of nowhere and had no idea where I was. Now, you got to understand, it's 114 degrees, and by now, I know I'm lost and I'm totally out of water. And as I was riding the trails, they were getting rougher and rougher, and I was really focusing on the trails, and was really into what I was doing, didn't overestimate myself. But then I came to this wide open area, and I realized I had to find out where I was. So I decided to stand high on my bike pedals and try to look and see where some rooftops were, and then I'd ride to the rooftops, and as soon as I did that, bang, next thing you know, over I went. Over the handlebars hit me in the stomach, the back pedal came up and hit me in the calf. And the next thing you know, I'm on the ground looking up at the sun. I can't move. I think I got internal bleeding. I think I've broken my leg. I had seen 2 coyotes, no joke, as I was riding the paths, and I'm thinking the coyotes are lurking in the bushes there for me somewhere. And I honestly thought I saw some buzzards swooping overhead. So I'm lying there for a moment. But fortunately, I was able to catch my breath. I got up, checked the bike. The bike wasn't hurt. I checked my stomach, and all I had was a bruise. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I had a hard time walking, but surprisingly, I could ride my bike. And the good news was that I had actually seen some rooftops. So when I got back on my bike, dusted myself off, and kind of got my head together, I started riding to the rooftop. Sure enough, I came to a road. There was a guy surveying there, and he had a map. So I asked him where I was. We're looking on the map on this side of the map, and he goes, "Man, you're way over here." So I had 7 more miles to go to ride back to the hotel. But I stuck to the roads. I stopped for water regularly because there were stores along the way, and I made it in a little over a half an hour. Not bad for a guy that thought he was going to die. Now, what's the moral of this story? Well, I could give you the obvious morals, lessons such as don't ride by yourself, take plenty of water, never go in strange terrain. But all those lessons are really specific only to biking. The real lesson to be learned here is always keep your eye on the path, especially when you think it's least important to do so. I was fine when I was riding in the deep inclines and the narrow paths and through the bushes, and where I really had to focus on the path. But once I came to an area where I didn't think I had to look, to keep my eye on the road and keep my eye on where I was going, I looked up and bang, that's where the accident happens. And that's how most of us are. We're great when we have to focus because we know we need to do so. We have to focus for an exam. We have money's tight, so we got to really watch our finances. Either our health or somebody in our family's health isn't good, so all of a sudden we're more concerned about our health. We need to meet a deadline. It's easy to keep your mind and your eyes focused when there's pressure like that. What's really hard is to keep it focused. What winners do, what people that are really successful do, is they keep focused all the time, especially when most people would think it's least important to do so. So you want to be successful, you want to reach your goal, you want to get to where you're going. Remember, always keep your eye on the path and watch out for those coyotes. We close every Uncle Vic with a thought for the day. This month's thought for the day: always go to other people's funerals, otherwise they won't go to yours. Yogi Berra, Hall of Famer. Until we meet again, that's it from good old Uncle Vic.